And we're live. Today is a change from the norm in that Rina, my sister, will be asking me about the making of the podcast.
Over to me?
Indeed.
Okay, we will start with, what was the spark behind Change by the Minute?
So, the spark behind Change by the Minute, and I'm not someone who ever would have imagined I'd do a podcast, it was the desire to show young people who are making decisions about what they will study the fact that people's careers look very different than their degrees. And so I wanted a combination of stories from all the people I've met and people I'm going to meet to be able to show them that, the decisions you make at 16, 20, 25, even 30 will not dictate the rest of your life if you don't allow them to. And it's called Change by the Minute because I wanted people to provide bite-sized pieces of information. So ideally, each answer is around 60 seconds long.
So you like to do things a little bit differently, including your introductions. So who are you? What do you do?
I like to let my guests introduce themselves, including what they do. So not just what's your career or what's your job title, but Julian said it, he's a writer, he helps out at home. All of those things take time, as well as being a martial artist, he did a lot of other stuff. And so being able to frame the question in this way allows people to talk about the different aspects of their lives, whether it's being a carer, being a volunteer, owning a pet. All of these things take time and put our efforts into the world.
Okay, so the next question that follows is about connections.
Yes, so it'll be a bit funny if we said it to each other because it's pretty much there when you were born. So how did we meet? I've always been part of your life.
Yeah.
But with other people, it might have been going to school, working together, or something as simple as seeing them on a train, liking the jacket they wore, and that sparking a conversation. I was sat next to a lady at an airport the other day, and I sneezed. She said, "Bless you." I saw she was drawing. I asked her what she was drawing, and the conversation led to the fact that, like me, she's split between the creative and the technical, and now I've made another brilliant connection. And so I just wanted to show people that connections can happen everywhere, every day, when you're least expecting them.
And then you go into a question with your guests about changing the world.
I asked people how they've changed their corner of the world. This might be something that impacts most of us every day, or it can be something that has genuinely improved their field. And when I say their field, it might be something like developing a new process where you then showcase this new technology and it becomes a gold standard around the world. And when you're developing it, you don't know how far and wide it's going to reach. You just know that you're trying to solve a problem and provide a solution that's better than what's already out there.
Changing the world isn't easy, though.
Yes, also yes. It's one of the most difficult things you're going to do. We talk about inertia. This planet hurtles through space at a pretty constant velocity around the sun and everything's moving, but most people are stuck in their day-to-day swimming against the current. And so when you talk to them about change, they're like, hold on, I'm barely keeping up with everything that's going on and you want me to do things differently. I don't have time to think about that. But the best plans start with what you actually have. They understand that the plan is going to change. And it's just about, okay, what's the next step we can do so that we're not forever trapped in this cycle? And the next cycle might go a little bit easier.
Okay, now this question has gotten a lot of answers about a certain hot topic changing the world this year or the past few years.
Oh, AI. Oh my gosh. It's come up, I think, with everyone, whether or not in this point, further down in the conversation, it's very hard to ignore. With a lot of new technologies, you'll see the news articles of the day venting, moaning, saying how it's going to change the world. And for some of them, yes, for some of them, no. There's lots we can think of right now. The combustion engine, lots of people or famous for saying, oh, no one's going to want to sit on explosions. And everywhere we look, there are cars or automobiles nowadays. Others are the computer, the calculator, the telephone, the smartphone. They've all impacted the world. And it's only with time and hindsight that you see just how far those initial innovators and their claims actually realize upon the world. So yes, it's been a very hot topic and it's definitely making waves and changes, but the full impact is yet to be seen.
I think it's also something where every innovation that has been developed that has changed the world has caused uproar. And it's not to say that uproar is a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing and it keeps us mindful. But if all of the people who are calculators, and I say calculators as humans before, hadn't learned how to use the calculator or hadn't learned how to use computers, then they would have been the losers. The ones who didn't, the ones who adapted, the ones who learned, who changed, they were the ones who succeeded.
Exactly. And it just goes back to that point we spoke about a few minutes ago with changing the world and how it's not easy. The people who can see the possibility and want to realize the benefits of those possibilities usually do.
So why do you ask about something that has changed people's minds in the last month?
This question I thought was very important as part of the topic because we need to show that experts, individuals who've been in fields for their whole lives, and young people, everyone is allowed to change their minds. This might be you have a discussion with someone, you read an article, or you experience something, and it just gives you a new point of view. It's not about, oh, I'm completely leaving all my beliefs and everything behind. It might just be, aha, I see a new facet of something, and I can understand other people's experience. Being able to change our minds, I think, is one of the most important changes that needs to stay possible. It's very interesting at the moment with things like cancel culture and people going back into decades of people's social media use and saying, oh, you said this 20 years ago and you must still hold that belief. Maybe yes, maybe you know, but give people a chance to respond. And when you have that response, don't go straight to digging your heels in. Take a chance to say, well, why has this been brought up? Did I miss something the first time? Is it worth changing my mind?
This question is a no-brainer as to why you asked it. So what is the change that you most want to see in the world?
The change I most wanted to see in the world is the reason I started the Changely. It's this idea of people being, again, more than just the job titles. It's the recognition of what transferable skills mean. I've worked in a lot of industries, and every single time I've gone back to the drawing board of who I was at the time, and what that means is the experience I had behind me, the skills, the desires of what I wanted to do next, the lessons I'd learned from job roles about what I didn't want to experience again, whether that was being a manager, the amount of time I wanted to spend at work, how much I wanted to travel. All of these things take part in the equation. And you should allow people the space. And I know it's very difficult as a business because you don't have time to fail, you don't want to lose profits. But when you have something new, trusting that people who want to be part of the project will do a good job is really important. And so this experience of recognizing people's transferable skills and using them to expand what's possible is a big reason of why I started the Changely, and is one of the changes I most want to see in the world. I'm applying myself to people continuing to make stuff because that's my passion, but the idea is not unique, and I'm hoping people in software, systems, public service, all industries will consider what we're doing here with the Changely and transferable skills as a new standard instead of just traditional job roles.
The next one is a positive one, and I always look forward to this when I'm editing. I'd love to hear your reply, which is the question, what is something that never fails to change your mood?
Everyone who knows me knows I'm food-minded. Instead of messaging people, how was your morning? I'll ask, how's your lunch? Because I'm going to a lunch meeting and that's actually really what's on my mind. I've been that person when asked at a bar if I'm joining in bingo. I thought, no, I'm talking about food and drinks, not games. I love food. It's always something that changes my mind. As you can see, I'm smiling now just thinking about it. And when I'm eating something that I truly find delicious and you're sat with me at the table, you will know. I can't hide it, I wiggle from joy. So food is definitely something that never fails to change my mood.
I can attest to that. I've seen the wiggle numerous times.
Many people have, and yeah, if I asked you to go for a meeting, you're more likely to see me at breakfast, lunch, or dinner than in a boardroom.
All right, next question is regarding the wild card, which has been an interesting decision. Would you change this in future seasons or would you like to continue it?
I would not change this. I think this has been one of the most fun bits of the podcast. It's shown the personalities of everyone on the show better than probably any other question I could have asked. I love the fact I've got a chance to give my guests the opportunity to speak about what they really want. For some people, they don't come in with a question in mind. They like to talk the rest through, and then I give them a chance to think about it and say, is there anything you wanted to say and you haven't really had the opportunity to? What do you want to talk about? And for others, they've come in and not in a negative way, there's an agenda. And I love that. There's this passion of people need to know this and they're ready and they're willing to share it with everyone.
Now, our regular listeners may have noticed we skipped one of your favourite questions, so let me pose it to you. So, what's next?
It's been an interesting year and there are a lot of developments. I'm working on a few projects now, some looking at investments, some in the planning, looking to go forward stage. A lot of technical know-how needed, some hopefully big changes in the energy world and medical world in the next, probably not next year, but the next few years because they're long-term projects. And then another big one is I've finally got my black belt, which has been almost 15 years of training. So what's next on that front is the opportunity to train freely, train with people around the world. I've already been doing it the past few weeks and build up my knowledge to develop myself into the martial arts instructor I'd like to become. Thank you, Rina. It has been lovely working with you and editing this year's season of Change by the Minute, and we look forward to you listening next year.